What's up, you guys? All right, well, I put on this shirt today because I felt like I was just going to be a lion. I felt like I was going to be really strong, and man, I crushed it. I took my watch off. My arm was sweating. It was such a stressful morning. Stressful only in the sense that I was being really aggressive. I jumped in ABIO. I'm walking away now, and I saw it hit just under $20. Stock was up like 400%. Absolutely crazy. And I'm just grateful. I mean, I was able to really capitalize on that momentum. However, we did the recap, which you guys will watch and enjoy. After the recap, I went into the Warrior Pro mentor session. We did QA. I showed them my live trading recording, and then I noticed it was popping back up. So I was like, guys, I think we're gonna do some live trades. I'm gonna jump right back in. So I got back in, rode the momentum, and I actually got myself up $48,000 on the day. So that at that moment was the best day that I'd ever had. But I was trying to crack the $50,000 mark, and then I had a couple trades where I gave back some of the profit. So I'm basically finishing up the same as where I was when I did the recap, a little over 40,000. Which all things considered is a fantastic day. I mean, this is crazy. I've now got over $200,000 in gross profit on the month of May. So I am on fire right now. The market is hot, and I'm not going to ease off yet. We've got one more day left, so I can lock up 2 no red months in a row. And I want to encourage you guys, in case you forgot, summer school starts on Monday. So our summer school program, it's not like high school. It's not like when it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. This summer school is fun. So what we're gonna do starting on Monday, each morning I'll do live trading, a regular routine. Watch list, 9 to 9:30. 9:30, the bell rings, live trading until 10:30. We'll do the recap up until about 11, we'll Q&A, and then we'll start teaching the classes from about 11 until not later than 3 p.m. each day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reteach all the classes that are currently in our curriculum, starting with the Warrior Starter course, 15 chapter class. I'll teach that the first week of June. Then in the second, third, and last week of June, I'll be teaching my small cap day trading course, which is also 15 chapters, but it's going to take a lot longer to teach because the class is like chapter 7 for the gap and go has I think 7 or now 8 different parts. I have a different part for each sub-strategy, like red to green, opening range breakout, first pullback, second pullback, etc. Then we get into the momentum strategy chapter, which I think is now going to be chapter 8, and that is up to 14 different parts. The new part being the dip trade, which played out really well on ABIO. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about summer school, I want you to click the link right down below. You'll see it. Click that link and register to one of the free classes that I'm hosting. Now, these classes are actually a replay of the class that I just hosted. It was like 9 days ago. It was just the beginning of last week to invite students to join summer school. All right, so that class will walk you through my strategy a little bit. It'll give you more detail into the summer school program, and it'll give you a special link to join the summer school classes at a pretty big discount. Holy smokes. Guys, I've got a sighting here. See, now many of you guys, you might not know this about me. One of our YouTube subscribers recommended a book called The Secret and Solitary Lives of Chipmunks. Oh, now he's gone. So I bought it, and I've been reading it. It's very interesting. I mean, I sit trading, and I look out my window, and I see them running by all day long. So I was starting to wonder, what are they doing out there? What's going on with them? Simple life. They're so fortunate. So anyways, click that link below, register to the class. You'll watch a replay of the class I taught last week, and give you a chance to register for summer school classes. All existing Warrior Pro students, you don't have to do anything. But for those of you that want to join the program, you got to click that link below. So wild day, it's like 3:30, just long day, wild day, big green day, and a humbling day, given that I was up 48,000, and then, ended up giving back a little bit of profit. So $40,000. Live to trade another day. All right, so I'll be back at it tomorrow, Friday, and I'm gonna try to finish off the month of May with one more green day. Rah! What's up, everyone? All right, well, midday market recap here. We're going to go over the trades from this morning. $40,830.90. Not bad. Amazing. What a month. This has been a really incredible month. Coming into today, I was sitting at $164,000 in gross profit on the month. This puts me up over 200 grand, over $200,000 on the month. Accuracy about 75%. I've taken 415 trades before today. Average winners $661. Average losers 411. Biggest winner 15,000. Biggest loser 4,800. I don't think I had any records today on a new biggest winner or a new biggest, certainly not a new biggest loser. I had a number of trades on ABIO, but it wasn't the easiest to trade at first. I sort of struggled with it, and then I started to get a little bit more aggressive. So I'll make this a little bit smaller here. All right, so as you guys probably know, usually while I'm trading, I am not looking closely at my P&L. I just have it kind of hidden right down here, but we'll display it for the duration of the recap, just to keep that nice looking number right there up at the top. All right, so, and I'll just move that like that. All right, so that's where I finished the day, $40,000. And the bulk of it was on, well, obviously, ABIO. I did have a couple of other stocks that I traded, but these were very small winners. 600 on FTSI, GMBL, TLGT, and TCCO were small losses. Just to quickly review those ones before we get into the better trades today on ABIO. FTSI hit our high of day momentum scanner. So as I hit the high day momentum scanner, and this was earlier in the morning, I jumped in it. I tried to take a quick breakout trade. That was up in this area here on this little pullback. And as you can see, it popped up to a high of 720. It then pulled back. It just didn't hold up really well. Now it happens to be up right now at 745. So FTSI is currently up 21% on the day. So it's up from where I got out, but it didn't hold up super well. GMBL. I took a trade on this on a 5-minute breakout right here. First 5-minute candle to make a new high, long at 570. It popped up to 6. I actually added for the break of 6 with a target of 625. I stopped out at 590. So $600 on that. TLGT, this one was on the top of our gap scanner because it was a reverse split stock, as you can see right here. But I didn't trade it very well. I did not get into it before the first halt or the second halt, but I tried to do a trade coming out of the this halt here on a dip entry, which did not work. So stopped out on that one. And then TCCO is my biggest loss. This one was kind of funny. It hit the high day Momo scanner, and I bought this pullback right here. All right, comes up to 38. I added for the break through the high. It hit a high of 40, and then this one candle dropped right back down to 18. So, whatever. Sometimes they just don't work. And so at that point, I was like, all right, I'm focusing on ABIO for the rest of the day. Now, ABIO was our third leading gapper in the entire U.S. market today. All right, it was gapping up 115%. It is currently up 186%, which is impressive. Now, out of the gates, it was really choppy. And actually, my first couple trades were not really picture perfect. Now, this is tempting right now for me to do a dip trade on, and I'm not gonna do it. But it is tempting. The dip trades have been pretty nice on this. So anyways, pre-market, basically we had this price action here, and I'll just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so go to there. So pre-market, it had a high of 779, which was this level up here. And then it pulled back a little bit, and I was half tempted. I was looking at it, and I was like, man, look at this. It looks kind of interesting for a long here at 750. And I just said to myself, pre-market is risky. It's risky stuff. This thing is up a lot. Just don't do it. So I didn't do it. And well, it goes ahead and breaks 750 pre-market and rips up to 850. Really nice. And then 867. This was the high, 867. Then it pulls back, coming into the open right here. It hit a high of 877 and then a high of 888. And right out of the gates, it squeezed. So my very first trade on it was a long on a dip at 864. I was in at 864, 867, and 865, and I sold it at 898 and 884. And that was an 8,000 share position. So that was about 30 cents, right around 30 cents per share, 8 times 3, right? So right around $2,000 winner. I think it was a little less than 30 cents. So about $2,000 winner on that trade. Not bad. Then it flushes down. I added back 8,000 shares at 848. I tried to do a dip, and it popped up to a high, as you can see here, of 860. I tried to sell. I did not get any shares filled, and then it flushes down, and I stopped out. I then took a quick look. I was like, what's the damage? And I saw that I was only up $300. And I was like, oh, man, that's a bummer. So I just gave back. I mean, I had a trade out of the gates and then gave it right back. So that was a little disappointing. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, you know what? If this one's going to be choppy, I'm just going to have to be careful on it. Let's see what it wants to do. So it pulls back a little bit, and then as you can see right here, it curled back up. So the high of this candle was 813 of this candle right here. And the high of this candle was 811. So I said, I think if it breaks 813, it's a quick long. And so let's see. So my entry here was at 815 and added at 822 and added at 832 and added again at 840, and it squeezed up, as you can see right here, to a high, a circuit breaker halt at 71, which I sold half before the halt because I knew from that trade I was in again with bigger share size, 8 to 10,000 shares. I have to see exactly what it was, but in any case, let's say 8,000 shares. So I knew I was sitting on a $4,000 winner. I wanted to lock some of that up. We've had a few halts in the last couple of days that haven't been really, really strong. Coming out of the halt, it pops up over 9. I added at 9, did a quick exit. High was 919. Let me check that trade here. So scrolling down here. ABIO. So what time was this? So that was 9:44. So I added right at 9, coming out of the halt, popped up over 9, sold on the ask, hit the bid on the rest. It flushes down, and then I'm doing dip trades. I'm buying bounces off the VWAP, selling as it pops back up. So for students in the Warrior Pro class, what I think I'll do for our Warrior Pro session today, which would probably be a good use of our time, will be a live trading, annotated live trade, basically where I'll give you my commentary over the live trading recording. So this is the live trade right here. At this moment, I'm holding 7,000 shares at 1290. And what is it at? 13. I was probably looking for the break over 13. I don't think it broke that level, but I was being aggressive on this. And I made basically the bulk of my profit after those first couple trades in the first 15 minutes. I went from up 2,000 back to basically break even, then to up about 4,000. And then, if you recall, I had this really nice trade, which was on the 5-minute chart right here. And this was where I broke over 10,000 on the day. It was right as this squeezed up right here. And I knew I was over 10,000 because the way I have my P&L here, I can actually see if I have a number. I don't see the number, but the only time it happens is if I'm up over 10,000, I see the little plus sign. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm up over 10 grand. I'm doing pretty well on this. Let's see. So it's at 1032 right now. Yeah, I see it's pulling back a little bit. Still up 162%. It's still impressive. So anyways, this move right here was where I made the bulk of my profit. And this started at 10 a.m. and was between 10 and 11. It was about an hour of momentum right here that was really strong. Through here, I had some nice dip trades and got myself from up about 28,000 to 30, 33, then 34, 35, 38, and then finally crossed over $40,000 on the last trade, which was this dip right down here, which was a long off of the double bottom of 1260. So, there were so many trades on this. This was the last trade right here, long at 1260 for the pop back up to 1213 is what it was. But I also had a trade right here, which was a nice one at 1188. Long at 1188 for the pop back up to 1250. I mean, that's a 60, 70 cent breakout. So the market is really, really hot right now. I mean, it's on fire. And this is my 40th consecutive green day. Since my last red day, not including today's profits, I had made $257,000 in gross profit. So after today, I'll be up to almost $300,000 in gross profit since my last red day. And that's in 40 days. So, I mean, if we do the math there, let's see what the daily average is. Well, I mean, I can see what it is right here. Daily average under detailed is $6,000 right there. But let's include today. Let's just see what it'll be once I include today. So 257 plus 40 divided by 40. So 7,400, basically $7,500 daily average right now, which is very, very nice. It's definitely above my typical average. So, what I've kind of said is let's ride the momentum. The market's hot. I'm not gonna slow down. I'm gonna keep being aggressive, and I'm trading with bigger share size, and I'm trying to capitalize on it. So a question that sometimes I get is, how much money did it take me to make $40,000 today? So let's do the math. The biggest position that I remember having here certainly would have been on ABIO because this is the highest priced stock. So I had 4,000 there. Let's see. So there's 10,000 or 8,000. I believe my biggest position was, let's see, I had a pretty big position back here. Where was this? I was in, there's 8. So that was only 8,000 shares. But I think I had a 10,000, at least one 11,000 share position. Just looking back here on these. So a lot of 5,000 share trades in and out, which really isn't a problem. This has over 30 million shares of volume. So there's 10,000 shares right there. All right, so on this one, I've got 10,000 shares on this trade. You can see I'm in at 1290 and looking for the squeeze up to 1350. All right, so let's do the math. 10,000 shares times 1290 is $129,000. So my biggest single position was around 130,000. Now, it doesn't mean I was risking 130,000. I would only be risking 130,000 if I'd be willing to hold it until it goes to zero, which obviously, hopefully that's obvious, but I wouldn't do that. This is a stock that you can use your margin on. So ABIO here, I only need 25% cash. So to take a $130,000 position, if I have a $35,000 account, 35,000 times 4 is $140,000. $35,000 account, and you could have taken, based on buying power, just about every single trade that I took today, and the account would be up 100%. Now, when I trade in small accounts, I'm aggressive. And I'm aggressive because I have confidence. I have confidence because I have a lot of experience. So don't expect that you're going to have the experience to have the confidence to take the level of risk that I take right now. I have to say that my results are not typical. I've been doing this for almost 10 years. But I do think it's a good example of the potential of the market. Even if it is only a small handful of people out there that become as successful as me, there are people out there that will become successful. And for those that have the aptitude mentally, physically, that have the risk tolerance, and that have the time to invest in this, obviously it can be very rewarding. And so, one of the things that I was saying over the weekend during a Facebook, YouTube Live that I did is that every day coming into the market, it's kind of like sitting down to try to solve a puzzle. And if I'm successful at this puzzle, then I will walk away with profit. So there's a really big reward for successfully figuring out the puzzle of the market every single day. And every day is a little different, much like a crossword puzzle or a Sudoku puzzle. You develop a strategy of how to do it in the most efficient way possible, just like any other type of puzzle. We've all watched Survivor. You have a challenge, you figure out the best way to get it done. But ultimately, that's kind of what it is. And so one of the reasons that it's very engaging mentally is because every day is a little different. It's not the same old day after day after day. Every single day is a little bit different. But ultimately, once you have a strategy for doing a Sudoku puzzle, you could probably do almost any one. Some are going to be easier, some are harder. Same with crossword puzzles. You will probably have some days where you get stumped and you can't figure it out. Like with trading, that's a day where you walk away red. And it's like, all right, couldn't figure it out today, walking away red. But good thing is I can come back tomorrow. So this is a day where my strategy on ABIO worked out really well. My interpretation of the patterns was pretty accurate because what I'm doing is technical analysis. So I'm looking at these patterns and I'm trying to figure out, based on what I see right now, what do I think the stock is going to do next? Based on a cloud that you see in the sky, what do you think is going to happen next to the weather? With a certain degree, you can begin to accurately predict what's going to happen. Now, there's training involved, and we're like a meteorologist, the only career probably where you can be wrong 30-40% of the time and still get paid, which is incredible. But it's a prediction, and it's a little bit of a guess, but an educated guess. It's not just a stab in the dark. It's not just throwing darts at the wall. It's not that at all. I am seeing specific patterns, and those patterns trigger memories of what I've seen in other scenarios. And those, through this experience, have given me the confidence to pull the trigger where I pull it, and to pull the trigger taking more and more risk as I've gotten further in my career. And again, the stock that was the easiest to trade today, ABIO, it's got 42 million shares of volume. It's thickly traded. It's easy to get in and out. It's easy to get in and out with 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares. We're not talking about penny stocks that have, I don't know, some penny stocks because they're 10 cents will trade on a lot of volume. But, we're not talking about something that's thinly traded. This was pretty thickly traded today. So, why is this the stock that traders were focusing on today? And I'm sure if you went on, social media or whatever, you would see tons of people talking about ABIO. Yesterday, the volume on ABIO was 5,000 shares. Today, it's 42 million. How does that happen? How do you have 5,000 shares one day and 42 million the next? What creates that overnight? What creates that incredible level of demand? News. It's news. And this was a headline related to COVID-19. That's a hot topic right now. So that's the type of catalyst that can really spark momentum. So when traders saw this pre-market, before I even was sitting at my computer, they were already jumping on it to try to ride this momentum. And I'm sure that there are people who bought it up here at 6 or 7 or 8 and then stopped out as it came back down to 6. And they're like, dang it, that's so frustrating. Well, this pattern is a little, this isn't a pattern I would typically trade. So fortunately, I didn't get caught in that. But then again, right at the gates, out of the open, the trade that I took on that dip for the pop back up didn't really work as I expected it to. And then the first candle to make a new high also didn't work as I expected it to. Then we got a surprise move here that got kind of rejected. And then we flushed down here. So it really wasn't super easy until right around here
10:15 when it broke this level right here. And we were all over it. I was watching that like a hawk. And that was where we were trading it. I mean, I was trading it already, and at this point I was up, I think, around $3,000 or $4,000. So, I had some profit, but I wasn't in as good of shape as I wanted to be. Now, for those of you guys that got on the wrong side of the stock, you got in too high. You gave into FOMO and you bought it up here at $11.25 on this little micro pullback, and then stopped out, right down here when it flushed to the low of $10.25. It's a full $1 a share drop. I have been there. I know how frustrating it is to then look at this rip right after you get stopped out and take the loss. I think probably all of us have been there at one point or another. So one of the things that I am a big advocate of is trying to build a cushion on the day before I start taking high levels of risk. And so one of the things that I also will say is, if a stock is halted and you didn't already have profit from before the halt, wherever you're trading it after the halt is high risk. And I know how frustrating it is to be sitting there with a big loss. Meanwhile, me or other traders out there who just traded it a little differently are green. The fact is, a stock like this is moving at times so quickly that it is not only impossible to follow me blindly and expect to be getting into the same spot, but it's just flat out a really bad idea. What I want for you is for you to have the confidence and the conviction to trade this stock, which undoubtedly was probably the most popular stock on the market today for momentum traders. It's not like this was just me trading it. It's got 40 million shares of volume. Traders all around, the U.S. and internationally were trading the stock. So why was this stock worth watching, worth trading? Above average volume, a strong news catalyst, nice technicals, relatively low float, which is a limited level of supply, showing some extreme moves, big rate of change. But all of that potential opportunity comes with risk. And so every trade that we take, we have to measure risk and reward. And every day, every trade I take is a measure of risk and reward. And, when we import my trades tomorrow and we actually see how many I took, no doubt about it, we'll see that I traded a lot today. And we will probably see that I had a fair share of losers. But most of the losses were pretty small. The biggest one was the one right at the open where I lost about $1,800 or $2,000 or whatever that was. That was my biggest loss right at the open. But I did have a couple others, and we'll break those down tomorrow, of course, when we do our when I import the trades and we kind of review where everything sits for today. And for Warrior Pro students, as we jump into the Warrior Pro Mentor session in just a few minutes, we'll review this live trading archive. I'll give you some commentary and explain what I was seeing, where I was, what I was seeing that gave me the confidence in that second to press the button, whether it was the buy button or the sell button. So that, of course, is the advantage of being a Warrior Pro student. And so why don't we switch gears for you guys. Warrior Pro students, we're going to switch over to the Warrior Pro room. I'm going to open up the room right now, and we'll start doing our Q&A in just a couple minutes. And everyone hanging out, watching this on YouTube or Facebook, I hope you guys give the thumbs up on this video. I hope you enjoy the recap, and stay tuned for the next episode tomorrow, Friday, last day of May, what could potentially be my 41st consecutive green day to finish up 2 consecutive green months. Not that that's unusual, but 2 consecutive no red months, which is to say I haven't had a red day in May, and I didn't have a red day in April either. So if I could do that 2 months in a row, that'll be the first time I've done that since 2015, 2016. Pretty big achievement, and a reflection of how strong the market is right now. Again, it doesn't mean that any Joe Schmo or Jane Schmo is going to come in and make this kind of money on day one, but it shows us that there's an incredible amount of opportunity right now, especially for those who have it dialed in. And I see who's that? I want to see what that P&L is. Is that DC just posted his P&L for today. Let me just grab this screen share. That's awesome, dude. I'm very impressed. Again, I want to be mindful of those who are red, because I know how frustrating it can be, and I'm certainly not trying to, rub it in your face. But I think one of the things that motivated me, even on the days that I was red, was seeing the profit potential, right? So there's DC posting a screenshot in the room. Is that it looks like a Lightspeed account, a real money account, but just confirm for us that it is. So $19,482.55. It's incredible, man. I mean, that's really impressive. This one, a couple of these I wasn't even watching, but I guess you traded. So we've got there ABIO, very nice. Good job, Will. So, I know it's 920, good job. So, again, give yourself a pat on the back if you're walking away today in the green. Those of you guys who are walking away in the red and feeling a little frustrated, keep your head up, live to trade another day. If you got to jump back to the simulator for a couple days just to shake it off, do that. And I think just remember, if you have a big loss, that even if you think you're totally good tomorrow, you might not be totally good. It can sometimes take a week to really bounce back emotionally from that. So give yourself that time. And tomorrow, Friday, honestly, with over $200,000 of profit on the month, it's Friday. I'm okay with taking it easy, but I was also okay with taking it easy today, but the opportunities presented themselves. So boom, $40,000. All right, you guys, that's it for me for the recap. I will jump over to the Warrior Pro room and we'll do our QA session in just a moment. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.